Servus and welcome to Flo's German Kitchen. I'm Flo, this is my kitchen, and I show you how to cook the German way. Yesterday there was a big holiday in Bavaria, Wiesnauftakt, the first day of the Oktoberfest. And to honor that, I'm not only wearing my Lederhosen, but also my traditional Bavarian vest. I hope I don't mess it up during the cooking. This one's the star of today's show. It's a Wiesnhendl. We're gonna make Wiesnhendl, a roast chicken. Usually in the beer tents they have those big rotisseries. I don't have that, so I'll make it in the oven, but it's gonna be fine in the end, I promise. So what we need at first, of course, is the chicken. This is a pretty huge one. It's got 1.8 kilograms, just the right size for the Oktoberfest. And it's organic. Usually I'm not so much into that organic stuff. I buy a lot of things at Aldi and all that. But if it comes to chicken, the organic stuff, you can really taste it. It's a better quality. What else do we need? Not a lot, actually. We have salt. This is rock salt that I'm taking today. This is paprika powder. This is pepper. We need lots of butter. Probably I'm gonna take more later on. I'm sure that's not enough. We have parsley and of course a good guzzle of German beer. Wunderbar. First thing I do with my chicken is that I'll make a final check if there are any feathers left. For that I need my tweezers, and I'm probably older than most people guess. I already need reading glasses for that. So here is something. Some people might say this is not really necessary because in the oven the feathers will burn anyway and they will be gone when the chicken is done, and yes, they are right, but I kind of like to have things orderly, and as always it's good to invest time and attention to the things you do. So this looks pretty clean now. I guess we're good to go. I put the chicken aside and start with these spices. The rub for the chicken actually is pretty simple. You take 2 parts of paprika powder. In that case I'll take 2 tablespoons and 2 parts of salt. And as I said, chicken needs to be very salty to get you thirsty so you can have more beer in the beer tent. And as I said, 2 parts paprika, 2 parts salt, and 1 part of pepper. Good, we mix that. And that's it already. I'll put the chicken in here and start rubbing. And I do that really generously. And I also try to make sure that we have the rub under the wings. And of course also on the chicken's breast. And this can take some time. The more time you take, the tastier your chicken gets earlier, so later on. One feather left. So there's one challenge about roast chicken, and that's you have two goals that seem to be contradicting each other. You want the outside, the skin, to be really crunchy and crusty, but you don't want the inside to be dry. You want it to be juicy. And the best way to achieve that is using lots of butter. You put the butter inside the chicken. A good piece. Then for the stuffing, just take a real lot of parsley and put butter again. So the purpose of the butter inside the chicken is two things. The first one is that as it melts, it's going to juice up the meat from the inside. The other thing is that it will drip out of the chicken as it melts. So in a Bavarian beer tent, you have a rotisserie and you have rows and rows and rows of chickens. So if the butter in the top row melts, it's gonna drip to the next row, it's gonna drip to the next row, to the next row, and when it reaches the bottom, they take it and pour it over the top row again. So it's all juicy, and that will make you a perfect crust. We don't have a rotisserie, so I do that in my oven. So to resemble the process of dripping and pouring and dripping and pouring all over again, what I do is I put the chicken in a pan, and then I'll take a brush and just keep covering the chicken once in a while with the butter that runs into that pan and stays there. So this is gonna have almost the same effect, and we'll have a spicy, crunchy, wonderful chicken in the end. You probably know chicken on a beer can, where you put the chicken on a beer can so that the evaporating beer kind of moistens, juices up the chicken from the inside. But we have the butter already, so what I'm doing is I put that bottoms up so that the butter doesn't run into that beer can, but it runs aside and really goes to the pan. So let's place the chicken on that thing. I put the wings under the thighs so that they stay a bit closer to the body, because we don't want them to burn. And the other thing is that I'll put some beer in the pan so that the butter doesn't burn and dry on the bottom, but that it really stays liquid. So here's some beer. And I don't put it over the chicken, just in the pan. And I just pour the rest of the spices over the chicken. My oven at home is relatively small. We don't put whole turkeys in our ovens in Germany, so they are all a bit smaller than probably Americans are used to, but it works fine. And my oven is even a bit smaller than standard, but it got some nice German engineering features that I'm gonna show you now. So I can put the chicken here. The oven is at 160 degrees Celsius. That is 320 Fahrenheit at the moment. I just put it in. The chicken stays inside the oven at 160 Celsius or 320 Fahrenheit for about an hour. Within that hour, I'll be buttering the chicken over and over again, and I'll see you back in the first round of buttering. So you can see this is already really moist and juicy, and it's been 20 minutes so far. So the chicken looks really good already. It's almost finished. My beer is finished. So I'll give it one last boost of 190 degrees Celsius. That's 375 in Fahrenheit. I'll just boost that up and give it another 10 minutes maybe, and for me another beer. Okay, so this is a really huge chicken. It took a little more than the 1 hour. It was more like 70, 80 minutes. And then I gave it another 15 minutes at 375. Also, I was using the convection, so it gets brown evenly all around. So let's see what we're looking at. I checked the core temperature. That's 85, a little bit more than the 80 I wanted, but that's gonna be fine. You know about salmonella, so a little more is better than a little too little. So here we go. This is the roast chicken, and you can see it's really crusty. I have no idea where my chicken scissors are gone, and my wife's not at home, so I'll have to use a knife. Yeah, I had hoped not to mess up my vest. Didn't work out. Sorry about that. But we're done. The chicken's very hot. This is a mess. I'll clear it up and I'll see you back in a minute. So here we have it, the Wiesnhendl. Normally I would start with tearing off the leg. I'll start with the wing right now. You can see it just loses easily. This is wonderful. We have the crust. The meat is still juicy. Wow, I really love that. It is so juicy on the inside, and the skin is crusty, and it's just so spicy. Makes me want to drink some more beer. I'm gonna do that soon. And I don't think you can get any better at the Oktoberfest. What you can definitely not get, I'll show you now. You might have wondered why I kept the pan here. Usually I clear up my table, but here comes real magic. We eat the Händel with a roll, and you can also eat it with potato salad. I advise that also. But what you don't get at the Wiesn, and here comes the pan into play, is I toasted that a little, and then dip the butter, the spices, the fat of the chicken. This is so tasty. It's almost as good as the chicken itself. Maybe it's even better. I couldn't tell. This is the thing you cannot get at the Oktoberfest. This is something you can get if you do the stuff at home. And that's what I advise. Enjoy German cooking. If you like the chicken, if you like the video, tell your friends about my channel, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and just enjoy German cuisine. I'm going to eat that chicken now, and I just celebrate it. Celebrate chicken. Cheers on chicken. Wunderbar. I'm not gonna down that right now because downing a mass is a real challenge, and I could do that a little later, and I give you a challenge. I'm at almost 400 subscribers right now. If I reach 1,000 by the end of Oktoberfest, I'm gonna down that thing, I swear. Wunderbar.